It's Watchin, the founder and CEO of I Choose the Ladder and your favorite executive next door. And I want to welcome you to my channel where I teach ambitious Black women the unwritten rules of corporate America so that they can get as much from corporate America as they give to corporate America. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about money, not about negotiations, right? Because some of you aren't even getting to the negotiations phase because you're not even asking. And so today we are going to talk about how to ask for a raise. So if you've ever struggled to find the words, if you've ever felt like you were underpaid but didn't know what to do, if you've ever felt like people were getting paid more than you were, this episode is for you because I'm going to teach you the steps to ask your manager for a raise. One of the things about raises that makes it so hard is that we've been socialized not to talk about money, especially if you are Black, right? Like, it's an impolite conversation to have. Most of the times when we're talking about money, it's because we're talking about what we don't have, not necessarily how people have gotten more money. And we don't have real conversations around the mental things that happens when you have to go and ask for something that a lot of us tie directly to our worth, right? So if you go and ask for a raise and your manager says no or not right now, the internalized communication is that, oh, I'm not worthy, or they don't think that my work is worthy, or that I am not good enough, right? And we might not say that out loud, but for a lot of us, that's how money, our attitudes around money manifest. And so today we're gonna talk about non-emotional things that you can do to prepare yourself to ask for the money that you've probably already earned, just have not been brave enough, have not been confident enough to walk into a space and ask for what it is that you deserve. And so the first thing that I will say is that you need to do your research so that you walk into the conversation with a number in mind. And that number can't be based on what you feel like you should be getting, right? Because feelings don't get you the bag. Feelings don't get you to the place where you can walk out of a meeting feeling good about the information that you presented, as well as the communicated response to you. So have research that shows what that number is and why, right? Is it around the market that you work in? Is it around the competencies that you have? Is it the certifications? Are there things that you've done that are above and beyond, right? How do all of those things packaged together come up with a number that you can then feel good about going to ask for and talking about it in relation to what it is that you currently make? The second thing that I will say is that you need to prepare for the conversation with your manager before the time that the decision is going to be made, right? So if the first time that your manager hears about you wanting a raise is during your performance review, it's probably too late because the decisions have already been made. When you are being reviewed or feedback is being given at a review time, the past is already gone. So they're gonna make that decision based on information that they already have. So for me, if I'm somebody who knows that I wanna get a raise in the next 6, 12, 18 months, at that backing out that 12-month mark, I'm having conversations with my manager around like, what does it look like in terms of my skill sets, or what do I need to be able to show to be able to warrant increase in salary, or increase in commission, or an increase in however your pay structure is. But you need to have those conversations along the way so that it's not a surprise when you get to the end and the direct conversation around your money comes up. The next thing I'll say is that you need to gather your receipts. I said this in the beginning, but feelings do not get you paid, right? Everybody has feelings. Everybody feels like they're overworked, and a lot of us are. Everybody feels like they're underpaid, and a lot of us are, right? So if you go in there with the same feelings that everybody else has, you're gonna get the same response. And so you have to do something that's different. And when I say gather your receipts, I mean your proof of performance. And those receipts should be directly tied with how your success is being measured. And we'll talk a little bit about that in our episode around what you should be asking your manager during your performance review. But just know that your receipts should have a direct tie to how your success is being measured and how you overachieved in those different areas, right? So you need to be gathering those receipts all year long. Remember, I said the conversation with your manager happens before, right? And it's a progressive conversation until you get to that point. But you need to also be collecting data points along the way. And whether that's with your review planner, whether it's in an Excel document, whatever your system is of tracking the things that you do, you need to gather those receipts and put them in a way that can tell a compelling story about what it is that you've accomplished. The next thing is you need to figure out the timing, right? Most companies have budget planning cycles. They also have times where they typically give raises. And then if they give raises or bonuses off cycle, then what has been the reason or the rationale that's been given to warrant those things? Because you want to be able to articulate if you are asking for money in an off cycle, right? It could potentially be a salary increase, but it could be a spot bonus. It could be a bunch of other compensation structures, but you need to know when budgets are worked on, when raises are typically given. And if you're asking for one outside of that typical cycle, you need to know what would need to be present in order for them to be able to approve that during that time. So once you have all that, you have your receipts, you know what the right time is. Now you have to prepare for a pitch, because literally that's what your salary conversation is, right? You are pitching your boss on why you deserve more money. And it's not like an episode of Shark Tank or anything like that, right? Like your boss is not a shark, but you need to prepare so that you can tell a story, right? About how you've contributed to the team, contributed to the company, and how you've gone above and beyond, because that is what gets you more money, right? And if you can tell a compelling enough story that then gives your boss the information that they need to then go and advocate for you to whoever needs to approve the increase, whether it's a salary increase, a bonus, some kind of special compensation, right? The story needs to be compelling enough for them to be able to retell it to somebody else. I think one of the things that we forget is that our managers typically are not the final say on how much money we get, right? Once they've had a conversation with you, they then need to go talk to their boss, HR, whoever, and be able to advocate for you. And so if the story that they're telling is not compelling enough, and they have 10 people that they have to decide on, and somebody comes with stronger receipts and a stronger story, they're probably gonna be the one that gets the raise or whatever it is that they're asking for. So make sure that your career story is tight. Once that's done and you feel really prepared, you then request a meeting with your manager, right? And as you request that meeting, you need to think about a couple of things. How does your manager best understand information? And then what is your boss's communication style, right? Do they like information up front? And if so, do you send them some bullet points about what you want to talk about in the meeting, or something like an agenda if that's how they receive information? Do they like decks, right? Do you want to put together a quick little PowerPoint that you send to them and that you use to keep the meeting structured, right? And for people listening, you might say like, man, that's a lot. Like I shouldn't have to do all that. The reason that we communicate, and we talked about this in the soft skills video, is so that we can be heard, right? And you want to put yourself in the position that best enables you to get heard by your manager. And so if that's how they can hear you best and get you the money that you're asking for, that's what you're gonna have to do, right? So for me, I like bullet points. If my staff comes with all these paragraphs and like PowerPoint presentations, I'm gonna tune them out. They would have wasted their time, because we're not gonna do a presentation. We're gonna have a conversation, and bullet points ahead of time so I know what's going on is what's the most useful. But knowing your boss's communication style and how they best understand information is going to do so much good for you as you think through an already uncomfortable conversation. But don't be afraid to ask for what it is that you've earned, right? And I know, like I said in the beginning, the conversations can be really, really uncomfortable. But what's even more uncomfortable is sitting in a job every day feeling like you've done more than you should be and you're getting paid less than you should be, right? And so you have to work on this skill. It's a muscle just like any other muscle. You work on it, and one of the things that asking for a raise gives you the opportunity to do is to perfect the art of the follow-up question. So let's say you do all the preparation, you do all the things that you feel like you need to do, and you walk into a meeting with your manager, you ask for a raise, you present your case, you have your receipts, and the answer is still no or not right now. The average person is gonna get in their feelings, they're gonna shut down, and then they're gonna leave and be disappointed. The members of the I Choose a Ladder community, though, are not going to do that. We're going to use it as an opportunity to ask follow-up questions. So if the answer is no, you need to find out what you need to do or be able to prove the next time so that it is a yes, right? And if the answer is that it's never going to be a yes, you need that data so you can decide if you want to continue doing that work for what you're currently getting paid. And then if the answer is not right now, whether it's because of timing or anything like that, you want to know. But what you want to walk away with, if the answer is no or not right now, is what additional data did you not present that you need to present the next time that you guys have this conversation. So then when you leave, you have your marching orders, you know what to focus on, you know what additional information that they're going to need to advocate for you. And then it becomes less about you as a person and more about you doing what it is that you need to get paid. So I know it's overwhelming, but we are securing the bag this year. That's what we're doing. We're securing the bag. And so whatever it is you need to do in order to be able to get there is what we're gonna do. So as always, I love to hear what you all think about this topic of raises. Are you comfortable with raises? Have you asked? And then also, if there are any tips that you have that have helped you get a yes to asking for a raise, please share them in the comments because the community would love to use them for their own raise conversation. And until next time, bye.